Okay, here we are in our 3-card Monty swing program. This is part 3. We're going to continue the coding where we left off. So I got rid of my debugging code. I also put in my comments ahead of time so I have a little bit better structure, and that should make the flow better. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work on the code that handles when the user won or lost. And first thing I need to do is I need to create variables to store the player wins and the dealer wins, and obviously those are integers. So we'll go on up here to the top where I like to declare my variables, and we'll have private int player wins, and I'm going to go ahead and set that to 0 because that should be 0 initially, and then private int dealer wins, and again we'll set that to 0 because when we start there are no wins. Okay, and let's go ahead and put some space in there just so that'll be pretty, and we'll cruise back on down. Okay, so at this point we have just a simple test, and this code will run if the user picked the right card, and this code will run if the user didn't. And so then I have this all stepped out. So update the player win stats. That's going to be player wins plus plus. And then we have to update the GUI too. And the problem with the GUI is that it's looking for a string. So we're going to use that Java hack. So I think I called that player wins TF for text field, and let's see if we get our, yep, sure enough I got the name right, so that'll be set text, and there we go. Okay, now what I want in here is player wins, but of course that's an integer and I'm looking for a string, so I just concatenate an empty string on there. That's the famous Java hack. It converts the number to a string. It's used all the time. Okay. Now, obviously, this code will be real similar for the next block down when I do with the dealer. So let's just go ahead and copy those 2 lines. Come on down here to the else block where this is where the dealer wins. Paste them in. Cruise on back here. Change this variable to dealer wins. And then this of course will be dealer wins TF, and you got to make sure that I put the right variable in here. I don't want to show the player wins and the dealer TF, right? So there we go. Looks like we're good. And then we also have to update the scrolling text area, and I don't like to do that twice, so I'm basically just going to create a string for this. And I'll do that once down here for both cases. That's a little cleaner to my mind. So I'll have to create a string variable here in the method. I'm just going to pop right up here. And we'll call this string win result. And we can go ahead and set that to the empty string. I probably don't need to do that. But Java gets funky when you have initializers in conditional blocks. NetBeans can't tell for sure if you actually initialize the string. Okay, so again, I'm back here where the player won. So in this case, the win result string, win result equals player wins. Okay? And then I'm just going to go ahead again and copy this. Come on down to my dealer wins block right here. Paste that in. Change it. Dealer wins. And you know, I just remembered, I think I have to add a new line there, or else when I append it to the text window, it won't be 1 per line, which is what I want. So I'll go ahead and add the new line now. if I'm wrong, when I look at the GUI, I'll have an extra line between these statements in the display. And so then I'll just come back and take them out. Okay, so now, whoops, let's see, what did I do wrong here? Update the text area display. All right, again, we're not going to do that here. So I got my comments kind of boogered here. Let me just fix those real quickly. So this we're actually going to only do one time instead of having it in both of these. So I'll just delete that. And then this comment, we want to move back up here. I know it's a pain to comment your code, but it really just pays off, and somebody else might need to read it. You'd be surprised how much it will change and move out of your head yourself. So it's good to comment your code for yourself as well as for the people that you're going to end up working with. All right. There we go. We fixed the comments. And before we reset the dialog here, before we display the dialog, we want to update the scroll area. So the way that works, that's that text area. I forget the name of it now, so I'll have to scooch up to the top and look that up here real quickly. And let's see, there's the scroll pane. There it is, results. Okay, again, I should have used my naming convention. That should be results TA, but I didn't this time. I might pay for that. Okay, so results dot append, and then what we want to append is the win result there. Okay, so notice what's going to happen here. If we go up here and the user won, then we're going to append the player wins message to the text area. But if the user didn't win, then we're going to append the dealer wins. Likewise, we've already written the code to update the counter. As I mentioned before, I wouldn't normally have both of these in the same program. I'm only doing this to show you how we use the text area within the scroll pane. Okay? Alright, we could go on and put our messages in, but before I do that, I think it's a really good idea to go ahead and run my program and see how it works. Okay? So, oh, and also now that I think about it, I don't have anything there initially. I guess I'll worry about that a bit later. So let's just see what's going on here. Okay, here's the GUI. And so I play the game, the dealer wins, and the dealer has won. Now, because I haven't finished this, it shouldn't work again. I could try it. It will, but it's kind of not very logical. So it's showing the results from the last round. So you can see that I clicked on a losing card, and this was the winning card, which I didn't click on. So now for this round, it'll reset these. And so the winning card was here, so I lost again. And now the dealer has won twice, and you can see the two things. Real quickly here, I just want to show you how the scroll bar works. So as soon as I get past the stream, the display, it starts to scroll. Okay? Alright, so we're doing pretty good. We're almost done here with this thing. We just got to go ahead and get our message box in. And so what I want to happen now is this should start out with basically saying covered card. So the card is upside down. Then when the user clicks, it'll uncover the three cards. It'll stop the user from playing again because it'll have a message box that'll tell them the result. When they clear the message box, it'll reset the three cards again to be covered. So I'll have this all working with just buttons and text. Then I'll go back in and I'll add images instead of the text on the buttons. And I think that's a pretty good way to work. We also have to add our quick listener in. You should already do that. I'll probably just go ahead and throw that code in here and maybe mention it on the next video. So let's see where I'm at on my time here. Going to try some experiments here. So I think I'll make this one a little bit less. Okay, so let me close this. And let's get back to our full-blown GUI. I mean the text editor GUI, obviously. Alright, so what do we have to do? Display the dialog and reset the cards. Okay, as I mentioned, we're going to go ahead and put our message dialog in here. So I'm using the J option pane, show message dialog. When you use this in a GUI program, this first parameter, when you use it in a console program that has no GUI, this would be null. And normally what this will be in a GUI program is it'll be the frame. The interesting thing is, because I have this in the inner class, I can't access the frame. I wanted to use this, but it actually refers to the inner class, not the frame. So because I have access to the panels, I just put it on the main panel. When result is that same string that I'm appending, but now it'll be in the message box. Now what this should do is it should go ahead and display the message and block. It's called a modal dialog. That's what modal means. And then the user will clear it, and then it'll run the next bit of the code that resets the cards. So let's just go ahead and take a chance here that I got this working correctly. And I'm going to go ahead and grab my for loop that I've used previously to go through my buttons. And I'll just copy that right here. Whoops, I hate when it does that. Probably my own fault, right? Okay, so let's just go ahead and grab this and tab it over. There we go, good. Okay, and then I have to change this. So image button dot set text to covered. Okay, so again, the idea here is that now the card is turned over, it's covered, and you can't see what it is. And I have to go back and fix that too to start the game, but I won't worry about that yet. Okay? Alright, here we go. Hopefully it'll run. So again, so far I don't have this covered. Now when I click, dealer wins. Okay, now let's just pull this off to the side for a second. So losing card, winning card. I clicked here, that works. And now when I click OK, notice the cards are all covered again. So I can't see which one. And again, what will happen is I'll have a image of like the back of a card here. And the idea is that the card flips over. If I knew how to do it, you could probably make them animated and show the flipping and all that too. I'm not real big on that myself. I don't know all the details of that Java animation. I imagine we could use the Java FX. So again, I just did this a second time. The dealer wins. Clear it. Covered. Looking pretty good. Let's try a different card. Wow, that dealer is just beating me today. Of course, that's the whole idea of 3-card Monty, right? Is you don't win. So maybe my best strategy here is just to keep printing, hitting the same one. Interesting. It seems like I'm having a really bad winning streak here. Let's see. Let's try this card here. Dealer wins. Dealer wins. Player wins. There we go. So finally. So I think that's actually working, although it seems like a horrible string of bad luck there. Alright, let me pause this. I'll put the quit listener code in. You already know how to do that. Okay, here we go. Here's our quit listener inner class. Again, you should know how to do this by now. I went down here, created an instance of it, and then I added it to my quit button. So really now our program is complete and should run. I'll run it a few times just to make sure, and then I think in the next video I'll play with the GUI and add the images and all that stuff. So let's just try it real quickly here. And there we go. I'm going to move this over center screen. Player wins. Ooh. Player wins. Dealer wins. Player wins. Dealer wins. Okay, yeah, I was a little worried last time when I had that long string of bad luck, but seems like we're doing well. And once again, here is the scrolling text area. And then now my quit button should work, and indeed it does. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. Hope it was helpful for you.